You are watching Premier Sports Network's exclusive content, Mongolian Basketball League. One-on-one.
Hello, Coach.
Hello, Sam Benno.
Sam Benno, how are you?
Good, you man?
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Have a seat.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, how's everything?
Pretty good. So yesterday I came back from Serbia. I was like home a little bit with my family. Rest, think about what we're gonna do the next things for Sэлэнгэ Bodons, because we have 3 more games and then playoff. About DeMarcus Cousins, he's coming. That kind of stuff. It was a pleasure and work as well.
It must be nice to see your family for a few days.
For me, it was always good, you know. Like the FIBA window gives me a couple of days that I jump home and see them, talk to them, because I have a kid, and like he's young one, like 5.5, and he always like asks where's the daddy when he's gonna come back. So it was pretty much cool.
Are they able to see your team games?
Yes.
From Serbia, yeah?
I give them APP.
Oh,
they watch.
nice.
I have like good supporters, even though my mom and dad, my sister, the sister,
the
kid,
whole relatives.
Yes, a lot, all, even though the friends, like they're like all into the games, you know. Yes.
Right, that's good. That's good.
It's perfect, you know. Like, you know, in Serbia, like people like basketball. We can say like, when we compare the sports in Serbia, like, all right, the football is on that level in Europe, you know, like, but the basketball is something else, you know. Because Serbia as a national team, and before when we were like Yugoslavia, we had a lot of success in basketball, not in football, and that kind of stuff. So everybody is involved. Even though right now when I was home, it was the cup finals. 2 big games was like Red Star and Partizan. They played the finals, and it was overtime. We all watched, you know, I was on the game there. We all watched, like, and then there's a lot of topics to talk. So
this is the biggest rival game in Serbia, not even Serbia, maybe whole the world.
I think so. Even though they have like Panathinaikos, Olympiacos in Greece, they have Turkish teams, but Serbia and like Partizan and the rest are is like. Even though I hope that you see some like small things on YouTube in the EuroLeague, a lot of fans, like over than 20,000 fans every game support.
Yeah.
So
I saw the documentary on YouTube about these 2 team games. It was crazy. And I want to go there next time. Please invite me. Okay?
No, definitely. Whenever you have time, let's go. We can go together. You know?
Yeah, that's
definitely. It's huge. That's something huge. You know?
All right, Coach. Thanks for coming to the show and taking time out of your busy schedule and come to the show. I really appreciate it.
Pleasure is mine. Thank you.
So, I heard you were a player before, of course, before you become a coach.
Yes.
So, which level did you play on, and what made you finish your playing career early and switch to coach?
I started in the Red Star. You know, my father, he was in the sports. He was football player, soccer player, and then he was like in the sport government in the Belgrade, my hometown, and he just brought me on the first practice in Red Star when I had 8.
Oh, you were only 8?
Yes. And then of course, you know, in Serbia, like with, you know, everything is like organized with the kids. It was a kids fun, so like socialize with the other kids, playing basketball, teaching. So yes, and then I started there, and then suddenly nobody knows that. Okay, that's gonna be a little bit serious. Like, all right, I got some skills. I have some skills. I show them. All right. So, and then it was step by step. Then was a selection under 10, selection under 12, selection under 16. Okay, still I was there, and they ask, okay, so maybe you can do something. But at that moment, when we talk about 16 years and below, we had a really good time. And then if we compare right now, then we're going to see that we have players in that time who played in NBA after. Like Vladimir Radmanovic, he was like in Charlotte Hornets, he was in Los Angeles.
He played with the Lakers too?
With the Lakers, with Kobe. And he was the guy that you see that, all right, this guy is the next one. So I had like that opportunity to play with him under 18, then we become champions In that time we were like Yugoslavia, not just Serbia, and then we won everything what we had, you know. And after that it was like that beginning, you know, like that stage when you need to become a pro. After school, it's the hardest for players.
You had to choose.
Yeah, you have to choose. And then not just choose, then suddenly, all right, you have a couple of them who is in your position, but when you're gonna be a pro, you're picking the players from all Yugoslavia, and then Serbia, Montenegro, Bosnia, Macedonia, and then all wants to play there. And suddenly, okay, it wasn't just me. There is a couple of them. And then competition was good. But what happened? That time, then you see, there you were like first options, and then you see your second, third options, player, coach is choosing for the other guys. And they said, all right. Then I had some small injuries, but nothing like kind that I stopped my career. And I say, all right, I'm 21, and still I didn't find a way to become a pro. I was on the bench, like I was there, so all right, let's choose another way. Another way was like, all right, I went to the university and to get my degree to become what I'm right now, basketball coach. So that was, I think in that moment was a good decision. Sometimes, okay, I talk with the parents, you know, a lot. You know, parents help you to make decisions. They say, okay, son, just be realistic right now, because, you know, how are we, even though I work with the young players, everybody thinks that they have a chance, and everybody have a chance. It's a dream.
Of course.
That's a dream. Then you follow the dream. But on the other side, okay, your third options, your fourth options, you know, basketball in Serbia is like another level. A lot of people are coming. All right. So better to become something. Then I joined the university program. I graduated. I got my bachelor's degree. I became FIBA coach, and that's...
It worked out well.
Yes, of course.
All right, coach, what influenced you most when you work as a coach? What's the best feeling about coaching, and maybe the worst feeling you got from this job?
The worst, definitely I'm gonna start from the worst things, you know, because something good I will put on the end, you know. So the stress and the things that when you lose the game, what that stress means. So, you know, I'm always like working hard for everything, like, and then that was my mantra that I said, all right, I'm gonna push everything, even though if something is not like on the way that I want, I'm gonna give everything what I want from myself. And that kind of stress that you implement something, but you know, obstacles, something is not going right, they take, and the same game, like on the games when, you know, you plan something to do, but you know, the game is live, and then game left on the other side. So, and when you lose, it's like horrible, like feeling that one coach can get. And then, all right, you said, all right, the next game is that day, and that time to the next game, it's like something that it's not quite.
You have to go through.
Yes, to go through. The good things is like you're helping the young players, to young people. You try to implement some things to teach them, not just like basketball, that's the most important because we're in basketball. Things from the life, like showing them like some experience, sharing some things, be on their side, try to understand them. If they need a guy or shoulder to cry or to talk with someone, you're there. And then, you know, you're spending time with the young people. That's, I think it's a bless to be there with the help people, with the players, and then try to teach them, to try to show them something new. You know, like some offensive skills difference, some defensive skills difference, to help them to be better. But not just generally to be better like in every day, like to the next practice they come with the more fun and with the more will to do something else, you know, like, and that's something that pushes me right now, and that's something that I'm blessed that I'm here in these beautiful sports. You know?
It's not only about winning or losing.
It's not.
Coaches and players, they all learning from each other
Of
and
course.
growing in life.
Every day. You like updating everything what they do, you know, that stuff, you know, you have to talk with them. You cannot be that person like who says, all right, do this on that way. All right, sometimes
Force them.
Yes, you need to find the approach to say, like, okay, you see, I just said to you 3 times, you go right, you go left, you went left. What's the problem? Your focus is not good. Okay, let's talk. If you don't want to talk in front of team, let's go private talk. What's the problem? And then you talk with the players, and then you realize you need to have like understanding for them. You know, they're not robots. We are all humans. You know, there is like in the life there is like a lot of obstacles. Even though in one season, for me, season it's not a race. For me, season it's a journey. There is a lot of good things, bad things, ups and downs, obstacles that you need to go. And then we will see on the end how was it, you know.
In the other words, season is you take it like a marathon.
Like a marathon, yes.
The names of the coaches you worked with are impressive. I'm looking at the list.
Thanks.
Jetko Abradovic,
Yes.
Duda Ivakovic, Svetoslav Pesic,
Yes.
Igor Kokosov, all the big names, not only in Europe, in the world of basketball.
The world, yes.
What's the main thing you learned from these great coaches?
You know, it's like some things that, you know, when you had a chance to work with them, definitely you're not like, you need to be focused on everything. It's not like, all right, what they're saying, like, you know, pretty much when you talk about basketball, it's pretty much the same. But it's the way how they say, it's the way how you see from their mama mimics from the face, how their energy, how they're vibing for the others. That's the most important thing. You know, in the certain moments to see the details, you know, because, you know, we are like all different, you know, we maybe I look basketball different to the other coaches, or the other coaches look basketball in the other way. But when you talk to them, of course, there is a lot of drills that you can see. There is a lot of wave. That personal talk with someone that they want to share their thoughts or their like secrets, their minds, talking about basketball. Even though in the life, how they like doing this stuff, it's precious, you know.
And my next question is, how did you get involved with Shanghai Sharks, the biggest club in China?
Definitely biggest franchise if you look, but Shanghai Sharks, big franchise, but they won just one title. It was like when Yao Ming played with them.
Yeah, in the late 90s.
Yes,
maybe?
yes. Yao Ming was there, and he's Shanghainese, and the coach was Li Qiuping, who actually invited me to come after. How it was? It was really good stuff. So I finished with the Serbian teams, and then I got some offer to go to Xiamen. Xiamen, in that moment, they have like a CUBA team who is NCAA program, the same thing. They copied the same thing.
I said.
Yes. And Xiamen University is like top 3 universities in all China. Yes. Beautiful city, it's island, talented kids, and the program is good. So for that time, Xiamen University, they didn't have like a lot of success. So first I started with them, and then we went to the Final Four. And believe me when I say, that time to get in the Final Four, it's like, wow.
It was their big success.
It's a big success, even though we become a state champions because, you know, like province, it's a state, like Fujian province. And then in that moment was Huachao, it's Huada, some kind of the biggest like in university who always won the championship, and we beat them for the first time. Then we went for the final two, everything's history. The guy was there, Li Qiuping, the guy was there because like 20,000 people watching that NCAA, CUBA, the Final Four, and he say, okay, for that one I want a guy who joins to Shanghai Sharks. So at the first moments he called me, we went to the dinner, I say, all right, let's make agreement and what we're gonna do. And there is a lot of things, you know, that was connection.
Since the Chinese Basketball Association started inviting the foreign experts, many Serbian, especially many Serbian coaches who worked there. So what do you think was the reason they started inviting the foreign experts?
Definitely the reason it's like our style of playing. That Serbia is ranked number 2 First is US, even though we know that Olympic Games, that we almost had them. The other things like they want European style. Even though European style, what that means, it's kind of different things because, you know, America, US, they have like their own like, I don't know, rules. It's not the same. Even though for everything, like NBA is another level. Then you have CBA, who is like similar with NBA with the rules, and then, all right, but kind of they play 4 times 12 minutes in CBA, but the rules, like there is not like 3 seconds in defense, there is not like offensively things you can do these things. They need like kind of to implement the other European style things in defense especially, and they called. And I think we have a lot of players in China right now. I'm not talking only about basketball, we're talking about 3x3. But I think that we are ranked second, and there are coaching staff and the coaches are on another level. They're there. They want us, even though we had like national team coach, you know.
Alexander Dordovic, coach, work for the Chinese national team.
Great coach, great player, great coach, great person, good stuff, you know.
I heard that basketball is one of the biggest business in Serbia.
Yes.
Not only all the Serbian coaches and experts work abroad.
Yes.
They also host the basketball clinics.
Yes.
In domestically, so.
You know, our clinics, like basketball clinics, is like one of the most interesting. I don't want to say the best, you know, even though you have Spanish clinics, Greek clinics, you know, French clinics, but the most respectable is Serbian, because we gave a lot of good coaches, and we are there we are right now, like on second spot in the world about basketball, and the big names are coming because you know it was like Dusan Ivkovic. He passed away. For me, if you look, he's that guy that everybody wants to be. There is no idols now when we talk about some coaching. When I was like kid, my idol was Michael Jordan. That's definitely, for me, like best player ever. Now, if you look, there is a Bogdan Bogdanovic, who I work with him, and Nikola Jokic, you know. But if you talk about coaching, Duda Ivkovic was that guy who connected all the big names to come to Serbia because of him. His charisma, I don't want to say he's the best coach ever. His charisma, friendship, a guy who can handle every moment. And in that moment, he brought a lot of big names in coaching clinics. Now my friend, he's a general manager of Serbian Association of Coaching, and he's doing the great job right now, Strahinja Vasiljevic. And he just, you know, like continue doing that stuff. And because of the big names who is coming to coaching clinics, I think that it's the most popular thing. And people can see everything, different things, you know, different. You know, basketball, like, say, like, it's simple. But it's simple if you look like different. Sometimes it's not, if you have feelings. So I think that's something that's like different than the other clinics. You know?
In our league, most recent champions teams, they went to Serbia for a training camp, and when they come back, they played a whole another basketball. That's the. It's improving, right?
It's improving, definitely. You know, even though Sэлэнгэ Bodon's team was the like coaching staff, they were, even though metal staff was there, even though the national teams. Yes. So I think it's good. Even though we have planned for this season, now when I was home, because we have like some talks with Boss Naba about. Next thing, what we're gonna do, one of the things, it's gonna be like to go again to the coaching clinic in Serbia to see them, to bring all coaches, like from my club, Sэлэнгэ Bodonс, and then everybody who wants. Let's go there and implement some things. So we will see it. Yes.
That sounds good to me.
Yes, definitely. And I'm inviting you to come if you have time. Of course.
Blessed coach. Thank you.
Welcome.
In recent years, foreign, especially European coaches coming to work in Mongolian basketball.
Yes.
For me, it's truly the start of the change, the beginning of the change. So we have coach from Serbia, Croatia, Slovenia, all these coaches bringing their different mindset to Mongolian basketball.
Yes.
So what would be most important thing for our people in the basketball?
you know, just one thing is like mindset. You know, that like it's different mindset. What it means. A lot of good coaches coming here and showing something, and consistency. You know, consistency. What it means. So, if you come here and stay like 3 months or 4 months, you know, what can someone see it if you don't implement for next season? That time. So time and process to see, to be aware that it's something different, to try to put on their way, to combine all together and to get the best stuff. So like Broncos did last season, like Metal did last season, you know, like that kind of stuff. Definitely minors with Vasilis, you know, of course, you know, even though Garid, if you talk about Garid, last year they were great this night, so, you know, great coaches, you know, apes, you know, good organization, good coach, they see everything different, they play well, so definitely we can help them, you know, a lot, you know, definitely, that's it.
We're gonna take a short break here. With us, Coach Predrag Stoyanchef from Sэлэнгэ Bodons, and we'll be right back.
You are watching Premier Sports Network's exclusive content, Mongolian Basketball League. One-on-one.
Welcome back to One-on-One with Tumuruu. Today our guest is Coach Predrag Stoyanchef from Sэлэнгэ Bodons. All right, Coach, you have experienced working with the children in your time in China.
Yes.
It was a few years ago. Now, are there any kids from that training playing at the high level?
Yes, so let's back on 2016 and 2017 years when I get in Shanghai. So I was a junior coach that time. And then in that moment, there was like 2 younger players. I'm talking about 2004 generation. We call them 04, you know, like in that moment. And we went like under 16, they were under 16, and they were like for under 18 that time, like playing for a little bit like older stuff, older players. And then, okay, you know how it's going, like they don't want to mix the ages because they were thinking that time like every age needs to be in their category. I said, but these 2 guys, like, I see like two guys like they're much more better than their generations. And it's going to be like very waste if you keep them even though to lose 1 year. Why? Let's try something else. Let's try put them in the junior team under 18. And then we will see how they're gonna like involve everything or improve or upgrade. And then, okay, of course, it was like adjustment time for 1 month. You know, they came to another something different with the import coach, different style of thing. But on the air, they adjust themselves very good. They become the professional players. We're talking about 2 players who is playing for Shanghai Sharks. One is traded to Sichuan. Right now, if you talk right now, the other one is still there. So it's a big success for them because I was like 6.5 years in Shanghai. From that moment, I think no one as a coach didn't be like so much time there. Usually, every come from 1 year, maximum 2 years, and that's it. And these 2 guys now they're like becoming like leaders in CBA if you talk right now, and still young, 21.
That's good to hear.
That's good. No, that's some perfect stuff. One is like big guy, he's 6'7" footer. The other one is like point guard, but perfect, you know.
That's good to hear. And what's your advice on the coaches who are working with the children? If you give them advice now.
I think that's the most like things that like the coach needs to be good, like what it means. That's the vulnerable thing when you work with them. So I think that if you want to hire a coach, that the coach needs to be high professional to work with the kids because you're showing them, you're teaching them, and you need to teach them on the right way. So to be persistent, definitely. To be upgraded, to go on the coaching clinics to see the trends and to stop doing only the dribble things. because dribble things and dribble in basketball is overrated. Okay, you have some skills, but the basketball is something else. If you talk about basketball, if you talk about individual things, that you be a showman playing 1-on-1 3x3, it's all right. Dribble, passing, shooting, combine 5 players, socialize, to be good men, to understand, to help each other. You know, that's things that's most important with the kids, and a lot of fun. Definitely a lot of fun. If kids, they don't see there is like kind of games or a lot of fun, they will be bored. Definitely. A lot of fun, smiling, show them to be in the shape. You can dunk, you can show them, shoot 3 points, that kind of stuff. You know.
Okay, what was your reaction when you first contacted to come here in Mongolia and work?
It was a little bit surprising for me, of course, that I know how things going, because, you know, in that time, you know, all Velibor from Broncos.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, he was my player.
Oh, yeah?
I was his coach.
Oh, okay.
You know, and then we become friends after when he finished with Serbia, he went to the US, and then we stay in touch. And then I see the moments about Mongolian basketball. He worked with Vasilis in minors. And then, okay, I was like following the league. And then when I got a call from Mongolia, from Metal, then I said, okay, let's see what, and then I prepared. What I mean, so I called like Velibor, I called some players, because I have like scouting, like some kind of things in Serbia, like that I have, it's kind of stuff. They have my, like, it's not the friends, it's the people that I used to work, they work now, and then they work like all kind of stuff. It's like, send me some materials, you know, about the Mongolian league. So. And I was surprised, but the other side, I realized it's a good opportunity. Why not, you know? And then I was blessed that I signed with Metal and to be in Mongolia, you know.
So what were your first thoughts when you come and see actually your team players and do the first training?
The first time was like, okay. We started, you know, it was fun, it was shock, but what kind of shock? Not shock like that some problem shock, no shock, it was like, in that time when I came, it was a late October. And then in that moment, I just see like 5 players, no really. National team players, coaching staff was in China, I think so in that moment. 3x3 was there. We had a lot of 3x3 players, and I just like
all the players were gone.
Yeah, like 5 players. Even though, like, if you talk about what kind of 5 younger players, and then you know, Dek wasn't there, Jijike wasn't there, Baisa, Sukh, everybody was. Even though it was 3x3 in Hangzhou, the senior program in Hangzhou, and that was a shock. So even though no coaching staff.
How am I gonna work?
Yeah, even though like no translator, no coach. Say, I sorry, all right, what's happening? Like that kind of stuff. And they say, coach, okay, they will come, I know, maybe in 14 days. But okay, you know, as a coach, you wanna have schedule. And that was like shock, all right, but give me the right schedule, like right time, because you need to plan.
Yes.
And that moment, if you remember, it was like, postponed the league because of some things what happened. 5 clubs didn't want to play there. That moment, then you came like, and you don't know. You don't kind of shock, you know. Even though there is no schedule, there is no team, but on the end, it was all good. But that was kind of shock for me when I came to Mongolia. Nothing else, you know.
You know European basketball very well, obviously, but.
Yes.
But with your coaching career, you worked mostly in Asia.
In Asia, yes.
Yeah. So, do you think the European way of playing basketball is adaptable to Asians?
So, like I said, like it's more like to involve team defense and offense is different than in US, even though in Australia, even though in China was like that. I see in Mongolia because. when you want to implement this kind of stuff, like let's say defensively, there is only man-to-man strict, but now there is a help side, there is a rotation. I think like off-ball defense is not like very popular these parts, you know. And then when you implement, if you look like I will talk only about Serbia, of course, obviously that I'm Serbian, but Olympic Games was there, and we see what means like team defense.
Yes.
On the other side, when you Australia team or Canada or US team, when they came, they need to adjust. The rules is different, you know, because defensively and offensively is different thing. But if we talk about the things in Asia, if they want to like become better and to win some kind of things, even though as a club, they need to see these things. So I think that's the most different. And I think the European coaches, they pay more attention on this thing. That's something what is different, you know, like.
Looking back on your season with Mittal.
Yeah, we had a great season. Even though I wanna pay respect to all players there, it's not easy like to bring them. I know that some of them didn't play well, like kind of didn't fit the team, but when you look like the whole season, we had a great job.
Reaching to the final in your first season is impressive.
It's impressive, and not just like that. To beat the Apes, that team in that semi-final game was very like big thing, you know, because Apes, it's a good team, even though last year was like, but on the other side, we had like kind of pressure that we must do something. So sometimes, you know, it's not easy to do something if you have some pressure, because they were like runner-up year before that. But the last year was like more teams, 13 teams. And then we have like, we're sharing the first spot. We have 19 wins, 5 lost. And then we're sharing the first spot with the Miners and Apes. That's the best score, whatever they had. And then we went to the finals, and then we won the finals, and they didn't win the finals ever. So that's the first win.
Yeah.
And then the first team in club history was BCL. Now that's something like, it's a big step, another level. We played the best basketball, defensively best team, offensively we were there with the local players, with the good imports. And because of the last season, Metal deserved to play this season BCL. So actually, when you see me and the team, we brought them 2 times to play BCL. It's a big thing. You know?
Of course,
it's
of course.
Big thing for Mongolia and for them. You know,
every year the Metal fan base is even more growing.
Increasing.
That's
yes.
important.
It's important. Yes, it's important that people in Mongolia, they love basketball. That's the most important thing. Who they gonna choose to cheer? I hope they will choose
they have so many choices.
Obviously, I hope I just to cheer for Sэлэнгэ Bodons now, because we are making something different and something bigger, like, and then we will see how we're gonna make it, because we have good things coming. You know?
And you have good experience too.
Definitely.
You bring Metal to another level.
Yeah.
Now it's a new job.
Yes. You know, when you compare like that things with Sэлэнгэ Bodons is different. It's very different, because you know, now we have like kind of good imports. The Marcus is coming, and the local players they are better. What that means, like when you compare them from last season, they were like second, third options in their teams. Some of them they didn't play. I don't have like the best Mongolia. We don't have a national team player. You know, that's something. But still, we were like second seed for a long time. Now we are fourth, and we are there. So, and I'm glad when I see my locals, they improve themselves.
Well, for this season, when the season started, not many people expected to be Bodon's be there,
On
top of the standings.
No.
So we all surprised.
Yeah, surprised.
What did you change? What was your plan when you get the Bodon's job?
Yeah, you know that I can say it was like that Bodon's hired the coach before me, and the coach got ill, had some problems.
Yeah, unfortunately.
You know, unfortunately. And the coach like made already the roster. He chose the 2 imports. I just left one, and then he chose the local players and already like that. And when I came, I tried to adjust a little bit, but I see, all right, I'm gonna give them the chance. Definitely, maybe we're gonna change one import, and we did. We just bring the Sila back, and what mentality and belief, you know, hard work, persistence. That everybody knows their role, especially in defense, especially in offense. To be, how people like to say, humble, to be there, you know, to be there on every practice, to give everything what they have, like not to save something or to save energy for some things. You need to be honest on the court. If you give everything, the court will give you back. And to compare, to compete. Let's say, okay, let's compete with them. Why we're third options? Now you're first. Compete them, show them that they make them wrong, you know, that kind of stuff.
As you said before, there is no national team selection on your team, but they all play hard with team basketball.
Yes.
They stay hungry.
Hungry, yes, definitely. Definitely, even though we had like ex-national team like Khan, but Bayer, and I think like when you deserve, when you get, you will get your chance. Just be there, you know, just give everything what you have on that games, of course, before that on practice, and Tulga as well. You will be there. Your time will come. You know, there is like a lot of smart people working in federation, even though the coaches, they seize everything. You cannot fool them, you know. But right now, maybe some of players is better, in better shapes.
But
like your time
will come.
Definitely, just work hard. You know, that's what I'm telling to them, you know. Be there, be persistent on the court, and then you will see it. You know?
When I see you work at the league games, sometimes I watch the games on the court side, and when you make the substitution, when you do the subs, you know exactly what you want from your players, and you know what you want from him to put on the game. And how do you know that?
But you know, coach needs to know what he has in the team and what role I will give to them. If you don't know that, so you didn't do the good job. You're actually your homework. Of course, and then kind of what is the most important thing for coaches that feels that I can feel the game, how it goes, and in the right moment to call timeout, to sub someone, and to give them different roles. It's a homework. It's definitely that's something that you work on practices, that you do through the talks, a lot of talks with everybody, and that's the stuff that every coach needs to know. You know?
You can't explain, right?
Okay, it's you know, some kind of gifts, or you know, like that
It's
stuff.
a feeling, the gut
It's
feeling.
the feeling, you know. You need to feel. You know, it's because I think like you can all learn some things. You know, even though you ask about Nikola Jokic, how but he feels the basketball. He's kind of playing the basketball, and he's Serbian. I'm gonna like talking about him in superlative and everything, but he's that guy who never like was in the league in NBA in the world,
and he's making it look easy to play basketball and having fun.
You know, having fun.
That's the most
Like,
important.
Another game, another opportunity. Enjoy the moment. Enjoy the game. Share the vibe, be positive, okay, make the mistakes, don't show off bad things, be with the team, like, be all together. And like I like to say a lot, like, we can do it, but all together, not just individuals.
Of course.
That's a good stuff for team, you know.
And you were mentioning Bogdan Bogdanovic before, and to me, he's one of the most complete basketball players.
Ellie Shooter.
Yeah, and especially we can saw that in FIBA competition tournaments, you know, in Olympic and World Cup. So let's talk about Bogdan Bogdanovic. How was it like when you work with him?
So back home, Boca. You know, it's his childhood name Boca. Now they call him Bogi. Boca, you know, I had luck. That was that age, 21, 22, that I decided to be a volunteer coach, because you cannot get the coach, you didn't have license. I stopped with the coaching career. And then I went in some local team in Serbia, in Belgrade. I'm from Belgrade. The team named Zvezdara. It's a part of Belgrade. It's one of the biggest clubs for youth. And in that time, Bogdan Bogdanovic was there as a kid, like 10 years old. And then I was like starting, and I was like assistant coach. I assist to some great coach, and then because she was like the woman coach, she said like, okay, I wanna like do some other things. Can you be there? So I was like coaching under 10, under 12. So we're talking about 2001 or 2002. And then I met Bogdan. You know, Botsa, in that moment, he was like every other kid, like full of joy. He wants to compete on the other way. He's talking, he's smiling, he's playing, he got the skills. And all right, that was that guy who would say, okay, with this guy, we can do something, you know. Like we can represent him to come from one smallest team to become something. And then I realized, after 6 months, I say to my club, okay, this guy, you know,
He's
has
special.
a bright future. Yes. We're talking about the kid who was 10 years old. Now, when you see that kind of talents, you can see it.
You
just know. When you see, like, you know, even though if we talk about Jokic, even though the people his age and the best guy, he saw him when he was like 12, but he was fat. Like, but he saw like some things, that some incredible things on the other way. Even though LeBron say, I know Jokic, he's player another way, and he respect him. Even though like in that side, when we talk about Bogdan, it was the same thing. You know? And then you know. And of course, everything else is history. Then with 16, he left our club. He went to the Žitko Basket. It's the great club who was like under 18. And then he went to Partizan and made the history. You know? He won everything what they have.
Of course.
And I'm always going to cheer him, because when somebody asks who is like your favorite player, Bogdan, because I was blessed that I work with him, you know, and always, you know, even though Jokic is another level right now, you know.
I like him too. I always try to draft him on my fantasy team every season.
Nice.
You travel a lot during the year.
Yes.
Because of your work.
Yes.
How is your family dealing with this?
They suffer, definitely. But, you know, we have like good communications, and they know what is my targets, actually the goal in life. And even though when I was like in that days, then I want to like to be in family, to have wife. Before that we talk. And I just ask and, you know, introduce ourselves. I say, this is my stuff. Because
this is my life.
Yeah, basketball is not just a job for me. Like you get paid, you work like 2 hours, you go to the fancy dinner, you go back home, you don't talk. No, I'm spending like, okay, 6-7 hours is like sleep, but I'm spending the rest of time just in talk about basketball. And involving on the, or watching the games, or doing the stuff on my laptop, practice time. So I say, if you can handle that, we can like be together, you know, like. But it's not just must. But we say, even though I like, because she's not like kind in the sports, and that was like my first pick. Like, okay, for family you need like something else, not like to have two professionals, you know. And then we get along, and everything else is like history, you know.
And how do you deal with the stress coming from basketball?
Oof, that's I don't have like answer for that right now. If you look about this year league, you know, last season I had only 5. We lost only 5 games, but this season we're like 10-11 right now. I'm trying to push myself to analyze the game, to be involved with kind of for next game, to preparing the team. And it's a good that sometimes you have short time and you cannot like kind of cry or be depressed or make the stress, because the next game is coming in 1 day or 2 days. But that feeling after the game when you lose, it's horrible. But you know, we have all kind of things, you know. I'm just go home, what I do, I just open my laptop, try to analyze it to see the mistakes and to realize what was the mistake, try to implement or to be better for next day. You know, but it's hard, believe me. It's not easy.
Last year there was a huge scandal about you having dinner with your friend Lala.
Yeah.
And he got fired from his job. So what do you feel about that
What
situation?
can I feel? I feel sorry about every fire.
Were you surprised he got fired?
No, of course that I was surprised, you know. And, you know, we are all coaches, you know. If was he, maybe I can be next one. So it's not like when you lose the job, you lose the job. You have family, you know, we are all humans, you know. I know how to call that, even though I didn't involve a lot because it was like, I don't know, you know. We were all-star coaches, and then we went to the dinner like 2 months before semifinals. Who know that we're gonna play semifinals or whatever. So, but okay, people look on that side, you know. It's a big experience for everybody. So, you know, you never know who is looking you and how they look on that situation. For me, it's irrelevant. So not so important, but. All right.
What happens, happens.
What happens, happens, yeah. You know, bosses, they have executive things to do whatever they want with the staff. And that's it. And we respect all their decisions. You know, and thanks to God that I'm blessed that really that I have good communication with my boss Naba. Even though I had good communications with the guys in metal. So maybe that's some charisma things that you need to, or you have or you don't have. So, and professionalism.
Now, obviously, we have to talk about DeMarcus Cousins.
Definitely.
Because ever since the news broke out, all the basketball fans are wondering when he's going to be here, he's going to be playing like, you know. He's the biggest name ever to come to Mongolia.
Face, yes, and that's a good stuff. And we're all happy that he's coming on 7th. We're all happy. We can't wait for him to come. How that happens, I have the story. So, all right, me and Boss Naba, we were like kind of, you know, every daily like coffee things, talking about the team. He's the guy, he knows everything, but he let me to do my things. He's the owner and the boss. And of course that I like to spend time with him and talk a lot. And one thing, it was like, one night, like 2 a.m., you know, but he knows that I work, I don't sleep. Like, he sent me the message, like, coach, about team, like, let's do some crazy things. Like, I say, okay, boss, what do you mean, like, crazy things? Like, can we bring, like, some kind of superstar? I said, okay, there is, like, superstar. When you say it's superstar, like DeMarcus Cousins, or you want, like, a good player who is going to be superstar in Mongolia. He said, no, let's try this. I say, who you think, boss? What is on your mind? Say 2 names. And I say, for DeMarcus Cousins, maybe I have connections. Maybe I know the agent from China, the Andrew Rogers, his guy, and then we say, okay, maybe I can get you the contact. And then, but let's talk. And we were like talking like next 10 days, thinking about if that happens, the influence on everything. You know? And then I found the contact and sent to boss. I say, I found my contacts. You do the rest things with general manager, whatever you do. And obviously he did a great job, and DeMarcus accepted the offer, and he's coming now. We are all happy. I think like that's a good first for Mongolia.
Of course,
definitely. That's the first thing. That's the most important thing for Mongolian basketball. For the beautiful people here, the beautiful fans, you know, they will see it, and for our club.
Yes.
Anyway, for our club, you know. And even though for me as a coach, it's another level. You know?
Of course.
When you like coaching, or you're gonna be a coach of superstars, and that's something that it's gonna be good for me, like for comparing the other stuff on other things. So I'm happy. I can't wait.
Do you believe he can change the game?
Oh, definitely. When you bring that kind of profile, like highest profile to the team, I think he will strengthen the team. And if we had kind of, I don't know, some things that they were all gonna be involved in the team. He will help like the young players, he will help the players, he will help everybody to be, even the coach to become better. I think so, you know. But you know, like basketball is live, you never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know, now everybody like expect that we're gonna win all the games. But let's win in 7 games and to reach the finals, it's gonna be good things. And in finals, we will see what's gonna happen.
Some people say your team is too dependent on the import players,
Yeah.
not using the local players
Yeah.
that much. What are you gonna say about that?
I think not. You know, like I said, we have our system. Like I said, our local players, they were like last season 3rd and 4th options. Even though they don't know, I talk to them, and they need to time. Maybe it looks like for people who watch on that side, like look on it, but no. I think that everybody is involved.
It's still a team team
Yes,
sport.
Everybody is involved. Maybe JC or junior, they scores a lot of points. But we have Bad Bayer, we have Tulka, right? We have Tseba. We have another player, Sani, who is the guy who didn't play. We have Captain R, you know, they're all Segi, they're all there, you know. And sometimes, and young players, sometimes, you know, they need to, how to say, to know what is their role. You know, it's not just their role to come and they scores. The role is on the other small things if you want to become a team. Because nobody can be like the first options ever, you know.
Yes.
Everybody needs to know their role. But right now we are managing the situation, you know, and then we will see.
Finally, if you would like to address the Bodon's fans, what would you say?
To have faith and to be patient, to have faith. Because like I said, the season, it's not a race, it's marathon or journey. And we are giving our best. And I think that when you look the whole picture about the last season and this season, we improve a lot. And I will say that we have M development team who is in the finals, losing the series 2-1 against Falcons. But we still have a chance to do the greatest stuff, great things. What that means? M development, major league, we are better than last season. And then I think it's the thing that it should be. Patience, to believe, to cheer us. Now DeMarcus' Cousins is coming. I think that we're going to give everything, me, myself, and the team, to try to surprise them, or to try to show them that we can handle the situation, we can handle everything.
All right, Coach. It was a pleasure talking to you, and
Pleasure was mine.
we really appreciate it. And good luck with the rest of the season.
Thank you so much. Bye.
You are watching Premier Sports Network's exclusive content, Mongolian Basketball League. 1-on-1.